It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for choosing once again to start your week with us. We really do appreciate it, and hopefully you will find this as enriching and rewarding. This has been a great conversation that we started last week. We're focusing on your new home, that first big step, or maybe your second one. Terrifying nonetheless. Buying a home should be exciting, but between the paperwork, the jargon, and there is a lot, and wondering whether you're really getting the best interest rate or the best deal, it can be enough to keep you up at night or even keep you away from the process. Well, the Betterbond promise is the game changer in this space, putting you in the driver's seat, sourcing multiple home loan offers and helping you choose one that best fits your budget, your speed, your tempo, if you will. And our national head of sales at Betterbond, Betterbond, is here to unpack exactly how it works and how it could save you thousands in the long run, because this is a long run. Buying a home is a marathon more than a sprint.
Certainly is, Graham. Thank you for having us once again.
Cameron Ward provided a beautiful sound check to get us into the mode. I feel relaxed, but even talking about applying for a bond makes me nervous because it's such a big step. It really is. I think we are probably fighting a lot of misinformation, a lot of kind of false information that's been fed to us through negative experiences. There is the right way to do this. But let's look at the negative first. What are some of the biggest kind of hurdles and misconceptions you discover in the space?
Well, I think firstly, it is a daunting task. And
it must be.
People have no idea how to go about applying for a home loan. They go to their bank and the bank asks for a whole lot of information, and there are a whole lot of stumbling blocks along the way. And it's really, really important to have somebody to hold your hand through the process and just make sure, and I said it to you last time, that it's a more enjoyable process and it's something that's making your dream come true, So
completely.
Really, really important that you do it the right way. But yeah, stumbling blocks, many along the way, more so the paperwork and the jargon and the things that the bank wants to see, and they want to see it in a certain way. And so, for the man on the street, the aspirant home buyer, that can be a really, really daunting task.
It's you climbing the mountain before you've got to the mountain, and that is terrifying. And it kind of, it's starting to coalesce in my mind that then you're going to take what you can get. You're not going to go and compare. Yeah. You're not going to be competitive in a very competitive space. Why is it important to go out there and get a little comparison?
Yeah,
kind of hold people up against each other?
Yeah, so, I mean, firstly, it's a hugely emotional process. It's your biggest purchase you're ever going to make in your entire life. And when somebody says, listen, we've approved you, naturally people go, thank you very much, and run. And that's not always the wisest thing to do. So really, really important, and that's the role that a bond originator plays. Like I said to you last time, we're much like an insurance broker. We go and find the best deal for you, and that may be on interest rate, it may be on term, it may be on bank charges, whatever the case may be.
You will find
really, really important to find the best deal possible, and shop around for that.
Yeah, and so that the people sitting on the other side of the coin know that there is a bit of competition out there.
100%.
So thank you for sitting in our corner in that sense. So what is the right first step then if we're going to approach Betterbond and we're going to get you in our corner and start this beautiful journey? How does that look?
So ordinarily a buyer or an aspirant buyer would come to us and say, look, let's go through a pre-approval process. And our pre-approval process is almost like an entire bond application, a home loan application.
Tick those boxes.
It's not an affordability calculation, which is really important to understand. So we'll go through that. We'll then give them a license to buy. And then they go out and they go and search for their ideal home, their dream home. And then they come back to us, and then we go through the home buying process. So that pre-approval process sets you up. It really does. It's the most important step.
And I like it because a lot of the can you afford it processes aren't nuanced to you. They're based on the industry baseline, which might have nothing to do with your spending habits, your earning habits, or how your financial system plays out. So I absolutely love the fact that you've taken it that step further. So we can feel kind of assured when we take those steps. Flip side of that coin, an A-type personality like my wife has already got the file. She's already printed stuff out, it's color-coded, and bless people like that, because I'm not like that. But for those who want to get prepared and be in the pound seat when we hit the process, what do we need? Do we keep, what bank statements should we be keeping? What does a nice file to take to you guys look like?
Yeah, so I mean, look, you could ideally get a whole lot of things ready. You could get your pay slips ready, your proof of income, your bank statements, a copy of your ID, all of those things you could get ready. But in truth, if you just come to us, our consultants will take you through the process, and again, just make that whole process so much more seamless than trying to fiddle around, trying to find things and assume what the bank may or may not need. We'll take you through that and we'll make the process enjoyable.
Yeah, so nothing is done retrospectively and no rugs are pulled out from under your feet. I'm thinking a lot more about how you've spoken about the process of assessing whether someone is ready or not. It kind of feels like things might be different, but to us, uneducated, it looks the same. Rates might look the same, but they're hidden differences. The difference of one of the costs involved could, on the long term, make a big difference. What are some of those areas where it can actually make a difference to have a detail-orientated person in your corner comparing?
Yeah, so I mentioned it in the previous episode when we were on here on the show. That 0.65% that we can get the consumer on their rate concession is a massive saving. It's a 157,000 rand saving on a 1.5 million rand bond over 20 years, and that may make or break the deal, because it means that from an affordability perspective, the client can either afford their premium, their installment every month or not, and so that's really important. Bank charges are really important. Those are the little finer details, the fine print. And then obviously your interest rate that you get, that's the primary factor that we deal with.
You know what I like about the way you're talking? These are all things that feel like they're out of my control. But if you put the right gateway in place and the right level of understanding of how everything ties together in this moment, suddenly the magic starts to happen.
100%.
And I love the fact I can see you getting happy on behalf of the people who are about to follow in the footsteps of what you've achieved through your own life. And I know this is a lived experience for you. It's not just a sales proposition, but you have a house. You've gone through the journey. I know recently know what that feeling's like. So thank you for bringing that level of love and joy to a process that I think, yes, is terrifying and should be a little bit terrifying, because it's a long-term deal, probably the biggest deal you're ever going to make in your life. So make sure that you enter that space educated, and I think your first stop should be betterbond.co.za. Go and do a little research, find out, in fact, ask what that Betterbond promise is really all about. It's not just about a value extraction at the first step, it's about the long-term journey. I love you, man. I look forward to next week.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll buy a house next week. We'll see.